Long range is what we do at Best of the West, and that doesn't stop at just Magnum rifles.
Out of nowhere pops this buck. My heart instantly started pounding. 685 yards with the muzzleloader. Boom!
We're heading east of the Mississippi to put our two new weapon systems to the test on extreme range whitetails.
So now's the time I'm busting out the secret weapon, the Slug gun.
Witness the incredible precision in these two unique rifled systems in uncharted territory for the fellas from out west.
200 yards with our new Slug gun. Piled him up.
Tennessee, known as the Volunteer State, a nickname that started in the Revolutionary War and was further cemented into history for their role in the Mexican-American War. The birthplace of legendary frontiersman Davy Crockett, these rolling hills of hardwoods have an abundance of wildlife. What better place to start our very own legend? With a brand new muzzleloader from Best of the West, we're raising the bar at unheard of ranges here in Tennessee, where you won't find any Kentucky windage. The leaves are starting to turn on the hardwoods in Tennessee. Its rolling forests and meadows are perfect habitat for whitetail, and the excitement of the rut is starting to kick in.
I met Johnny Allred through Gary Morris, a singer. He invited me out to the Tennessee Governor's one-shot hunt, and from there it's kind of turned into a biannual event.
Long drive?
Long drive.
Welcome to Tennessee.
I'm Development Director for Tennessee Wildlife Resources Foundation. We are actually the non-profit arm of the DNR, or the State's Wildlife Agency here in Tennessee. I met these Best of the West guys many years ago in Colorado on the New Mexico border. I was elk hunting out there, and we became really good friends, and we do a lot of projects every year that support Tennessee wildlife and do a lot of stuff for Best of the West too. They've been really good to Tennessee wildlife. I asked these guys to come in and whitetail hunt with me on my farms. I raise beef cattle here in Middle Tennessee, and my farms have a lot of deer on them and makes them for pretty good hunting. Y'all come on in, get your gear and unload, and we'll get some stuff ready and get out there after.
Sounds good.
All right, let me help you out. What's in this one?
That's the new long-range muzzleloader. So now, let's check that baby out. Typically, a long-range muzzleloader shot here in Tennessee would be 100 yards. So the muzzleloader we brought out today, we're effectively and ethically able to kill animals out to 850 yards, 900 yards.
And you're shooting this thing at 800, 900 yards?
Oh yeah, we've shot groups at 1,200 with it. Good shot for shot with any rifle.
Got a 4-16 Husky mile on there.
Yeah.
Some concerns I've heard about long range shooting with muzzleloaders is it doesn't have enough pressure when it gets out there. What kind of pressure is this thing running at say 700-800 yards?
I know at 850 it's still got a little over 1,000 foot-pounds of kinetic energy.
Oh yeah.
So you got plenty.
Yeah, well,
Plenty.
That's enough to kill an elk, but I think we're going to try this on some whitetail today.
It'll get it done. In the old hunting cabin.
Old hunting cabin, that's it.
Johnny's like, well, I got something cool to show you. And of course, Tennessee is filled with tons of cool history, completely different history than what we have out west.
My farm has been in my family well over 100 years. These guys could walk into a cemetery that has, Revolutionary War soldiers buried there, and we find arrowheads throughout our fields here. It's a really unique history here in Tennessee. There are a lot of Civil War graves in here. The Civil War kind of just come right through Middle Tennessee here. It's a big Civil War historic area. But these two graves were long before the Civil War. They are Revolutionary War graves. Both these guys fought at Valley Forge. So you don't see very many of these around here.
What was really cool is it had two Revolutionary soldiers buried there that fought with George Washington. Really, really cool. There's some headstones that are there that are so old you can't even read them.
Out west, our history doesn't go back quite the same, near as far. It's a whole different kind of history, you know, the cowboys and Indians settling out there after everything was established here and the country was already fought for and became what it was. So pretty neat. It's a whole different experience out here.
Haley Russell was Colonel F. Clack's 3rd Tennessee Infantry, Confederate States of America. If you look at the back of it, it says Cherokee wife.
Really?
On that. Sometimes it's pretty cool just to hunt, you know. I hunt right on the edge of this and you see these deer walking in and out of these graves and they feed on these white oaks that are in the cemetery.
They're just dying to get here.
Coming up on the Best of the West.
Out of nowhere popped this buck. My heart instantly started pounding.
The Best of the West is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation, Cryptek Camo, Hawkins Precision, Polestar Outdoors, Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable, Huskamaw Optics, and LongRangeStore.com.
Best of the West is rolling out a revolutionary muzzleloader system that is going to greatly enhance the capabilities of the muzzleloader hunter. Best of the West has been able to extend the effective range of a muzzleloader out to 900 yards. That number is astounding. With these ballistic tip, non-saboted bullets, we are consistently getting precision shots with a muzzle velocity of over 2,400 feet per second. One of the most unique features about this particular muzzleloader is the magazine-fed priming system. This priming system is actually reusable. It has absolute seal with no blow-by. It also keeps the chamber clean with no fouling in the breech plug. Another unique feature about this particular muzzleloader system is the muzzle brake. With the muzzle brake, this allows the majority of the smoke to be blown out the sides. It keeps your ramrod free from carbon, and it reduces recoil up to 30%. This package comes with a Huskamaw Optics 4-16 power scope with a custom etched BDC turret. Like all the Best of the West rifle systems, each package purchased has been broken in, proven with data collected, ready to shoot right out of the box.
Best of the West has always been a pioneer in the long-range industry and pushed the envelope and came out here to do some testing on our new long-range muzzleloaders we just developed. It's been fun to realize what exactly a muzzleloader is capable of and pushing it to the next level. According to the lunar calendar, it was best hunting from about 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So we took that advice. We went into the blind at about noon. Was just gonna stay there till dark. About 3 o'clock rolls around and some deer start moving. One little buck came out, was running some does around, a little spike buck. He bedded down right in this shooting lane we had. And out of nowhere pops this shooter buck. My heart instantly started pounding since I had never even shot a whitetail. he was having a stare down with that little spike. I got set and started squeezing the trigger.
Good buck came out, got a good shot on him. I think he went down right over there, so guess we'll go check it out.
Having shot this muzzleloader out past 1,000 yards, I had complete confidence that a 220-yard shot was just a chip shot. He went about 20 yards, piled up. I had my first whitetail. I was like a kid in a candy store. First whitetail ever, couldn't be more excited. It's been a lot of fun being involved with this new muzzleloader development. Fun to test it out, see what it'll do. The best part about it is it's amazingly accurate at any distance. Center punch this buck exactly where I was aiming. Got 2 tags, so hopefully we can stretch the next one out a little bit farther and connect on another good Tennessee whitetail.
Coming up on the Best of the West.
He was saying, you need to shoot that buck.
It's a good call, Tennessee buck.
And I was ready to shoot something. So it's pretty exciting for Kevin and I to get out here and finally get to come play. We wanted to do it for a long time. There was definitely a little smack talk in the truck on the way down here, who was gonna get the biggest buck. What's really cool is we get to kill 2 bucks here, which doesn't happen a lot out where we're from. We've seen a lot of deer. I mean, between Kevin and I stands, seen a lot of spikes, a lot of forking horns. You know, it's the first few days of when maybe 1 or 2 does in a group were starting to get hot. So they were all milling around. The does were still really cautious. We had Rusty Whaley from Waffle House, and he's quite the character, let's put it that way. There's not a dull moment in that stand with Rusty Whaley.
I've owned a Best of the West rifle now for 4 years, and I'm real excited on this trip. We're actually hunting with one of their new muzzleloaders. Yeah, we got in the stand about 3:30 yesterday afternoon and got set up.
We'll just see, hopefully tonight's gonna be good. Our wind, everything's good, so we just need the buck to come out.
We had deer the first 3 minutes we were out there. And it was a 6-pointer that came out.
Oh, there's your 6-pointer. You want to shoot him?
As soon as Rusty seen him, it was on. He was saying, you need to shoot that buck. That's a buck that needs to go.
You better shoot him. Rusty, I don't know. It's a good call, Tennessee buck. Right. He's gonna score about 192. Minus 92. Right. Oh, that's a good buck to shoot. That's a good cold buck, I think.
And he was right. I mean, it wasn't the greatest genetics, and I was ready to shoot something. And I knew I had another buck tag, and I could be patient and wait on that one.
Good job. He down? Yeah. He just dropped his head. There he is. He's down, baby. He's upside. Good job. Good job, brother. All right. That's one out of the way.
It slammed that deer. Good penetration. It blew all the way through it.
Daryl made a 165-yard shot and dropped the buck in its tracks. Think about a muzzleloader, most folks think about a maximum distance of 165 yards. That's just the beginning with this gun. This is a phenomenal gun, and it's going to reach out distances that muzzleloaders have never gotten before. I'm one of the first purchasers of one of those guns and can't wait to get mine.
First Tennessee deer.
Congrats.
Thanks, Rusty.
Good shot. Good buck to take out.
Coming up on the Best of the West.
685 yards with the muzzleloader.
Boom!
The Best of the West is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation, Cryptek Camo, Hawkins Precision, Defiance Custom Actions, Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable, Huskamaw Optics, and LongRangeStore.com.
So Tennessee wildlife manages their herd in a way. A guy can come in here and kill 2 good bucks. You're allowed 2 buck tags and 3 does per day. After being out here, I can see the reason for that. There's a lot of deer. They've got to keep the numbers in check. We went out, it was a beautiful evening, way laid back, just out to basically have a good time with Dickie and see if a doe popped out, take some good whitetail meat home, put in the freezer.
Took straight down from that house that's way up on that hill, straight down.
We're up here tonight hunting with Dickie Ray. Had just a couple of doe and a fawn come out at 1,000 yards. A little out of range for the muzzleloader, but I'm sure something else will pop out. We'll keep glassing.
So we're overlooking this holler and a couple of does and a little buck pop out. So we got set up and ready. It was 685 yards and dialed that scope up with all the confidence in the world.
You got her.
Did she pile up?
He done. I saw the deer fall. Yep.
Oh, 685 yards with the muzzleloader. Boom!
Yeah, 685.
Holy Toledo. That's unbelievable. Accuracy of this thing. Man. One and done. Dumped her in her tracks. It's probably safe to say the longest whitetail ever taken with a muzzleloader in the state of Tennessee.
I love a tracking job like this. And they say a muzzleloader can't do it. Look at that. The fruit's in the pudding. Man, you did good, boy. I mean,
thanks,
you
buddy.
did good.
Thanks to you. Yeah, that's fun.
We'll be right back after the break with the best of the West.
That's a good buck. That's a dang good buck. So basically, all I've hunted back home in Utah is mule deer my whole life. These whitetail are a lot different creatures than the muleys, but they've been fun to watch and try and learn their patterns and their habits. We arrived out here in Tennessee at Johnny's cabin. There's a lot of history out here. Pretty amazing place. Didn't really even know what to expect, never having even hunted whitetail. It's been quite a ride and a lot different than I anticipated, but a lot of fun. There's a lot of history out here, these old buildings that have been here since before the Civil War, and it's a neat place to come and see. Had the chance to go hunting with a good friend, Dickie Ray. Pretty special guy, but he sure is a character to be around too. He served our country in Vietnam and has some pretty amazing stories and pretty amazing outlook on life. So the morning of, we met Dickie, headed up to a stand. On the way in, there was deer running everywhere basically, and there was fog set in pretty heavy. This holler we was looking across, fog was kind of down in it, we was over top of it. There was quite a few deer moving, and I looked out to the right down this shooting lane, out the side of the shooting house, and saw a really, really nice buck. It was still fairly dark and a little foggy, but you could see he was a big, wide, nice, dang nice buck. Then my heart really got a pumping. Got a good solid rest, had the tension flying. I was getting pretty buck feverish. Dang good buck. Got him. Got him. Felt good. When we started the muzzleloader project, the most important thing was accuracy. We wanted something different than everybody else. Man, that's a good buck. Dang, that's a good buck. And we've definitely found that in the way we developed a system and a bullet that allows us to shoot unbelievably accurate with these. 3/4 MOA is definitely not out of the question with these, which allows us to make good ethical shots with no problems at all. 9-pointer. Look at that, Dickie.
Woo! Chocolate bad, oh! Oh, that's a pretty rack right there.
Oh, yeah.
Won't he look good on the wall?
It didn't take long to realize that I had something special and how blessed I was to have been able to come out and take such a great buck here in Tennessee. Dickie, we got her done, buddy.
Woo!
Here this morning in Tennessee with my good buddy Dickie Ray. Got it done with the new Best of the West muzzleloader. It's unbelievably accurate. Dialed it up, perfect shot, double lung. Went about 85 yards.
It's amazing. It is. It's amazing. I really enjoy shooting these guns.
It's definitely performed, Dickie.
It does perform. It goes a long way from the old muzzleloader side shooters, yeah.
Spending time with a veteran that you can realize and appreciate the reasons why we get to do the things we do is because of those brave men and women that serve our country fearlessly. Just an honor to be here with Dickie and the friendship we've
acquired over the years.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Good stuff.
When I was in the Marine Corps, I was such a bad shot, they gave me a machine gun.
But it worked.
Stay with us for more on the Best of the West.
So now's the time I'm busting out the secret weapon, the Slug gun.
The Best of the West is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation, Cryptek Camo, Hawkins Precision, Polestar Outdoors, Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable, Huskama Optics, and LongRangeStore.com.
We're out here in the hills of Tennessee. We're hunting several different farms that Johnny Allred owns out here, several different locations. It's regular rifle season. So now's the time I'm busting out the secret weapon, the Slug gun. The Slug gun will be shooting out to 300 yards. It's got great accuracy, but it's limited to its kinetic energy. Shooting a 260 grain saboted slug with a ballistic tip on it. I love this gun. I've been shooting quite a few mule deer bucks out of a food plot I have in Wyoming the last couple weeks. It's performed really well.
He's toasted. He was just sitting right there.
Our wildlife agency here does a great job on managing our deer herds. The numbers here are really great. We have a lot of deer numbers, and managing those numbers have been a challenge over the years, and they've figured out, well, let's keep the buck tags down so you get 2 buck tags now. We used to have 4 buck tags out here. They've changed that now where you get 2 buck tags and 3 does a day. People might say, God, that's a lot of deer, but not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody kills 3 does a day. So to get those numbers down, the people who come in and want to put some deer in their freezer can, and it helps manage the numbers, and the 2 buck limit helps the quality of our bucks go up. So they've got some really good bucks come here. We've had a 300-inch deer killed this week here in Tennessee. So really an amazing place to come whitetail hunting.
was definitely a really action-packed, exciting hour, man. We killed a coyote 108 yards over here, just shining out there in the sun, looking across the meadow. And this draw shot me him. Waited about 5 minutes. Don't a buck come out right across the way, over 200 yards. Piled herder tracks.
Here in Tennessee, we decided to go out and try to shoot a few does if we could. It was actually about 225 yards. If you look right here, you can see a big bulge. That slug's about to pop right out of this offside shoulder. Just a doe and testing out the slug gun.
Stay with us for more on the Best of the West.
Hi, I'm Daryl Peterson, Pro Staff for Best of the West. Today we're going to do a product review on our new long-range slug gun model. We're definitely extending the range of a slug gun. A good shot's 50, 60 yards. You're really stretching at 100, and what's really been considered a long-range shot with one's 160 yards. We're definitely easily, effectively shooting twice that distance. What makes this slug gun able to shoot so much further than any other slug guns? You're looking at 3 to 4 inch groups out to 300 yards. They're shooting 1 inch groups at 100. We're using a Savage action with our own custom bottom metal clip design. Another big key to our accuracy with this gun is we've had a custom made barrel, a lot thicker gauge steel. That was one of the first things we did. Harmonics and vibration have a lot to do with accuracy. We know that from our other guns and building guns for years and years now, that you have to have good, solid, stiff barrel. I've done a lot of product testing. At my food plot in Wyoming, we've taken about 6 deer with this gun. Every deer that we've shot has been between 200 and 300 yards. It'll go completely through both shoulders. The Husqvarna advantage, you hear that a lot, we say that a lot. It's having the total confidence in your optic system, your turret system with your custom drop. Repeatability is the biggest factor, biggest key in what we do. We have a turret system that you're actually going out, you're finding your custom drop with this specific gun, shooting this specific load, just like any of our other rifles. You know, every time you have the repeatability and the advantage of a Husqvarna optic and turret system on there. That's it for this week's product review. We'll see you next week. Johnny's been sending me pictures of a deer for a while. He's been getting on his cam.
You know, I've had this deer in velvet. I've had it as it's shedding its velvet, and I had it after the velvet come off. It showed up on a game camera many times, and I had hopes that when the guys from Best of the West here, one of these deer would show up. You know, we hunted in the exact area that I thought it was for a couple of days, and it was just nothing. We had a couple of small bucks coming in, we had does coming in, and every day I kept thinking, well, this 10 is gonna come in there.
Johnny and I are gonna get in the stand and see what we come up with. Been seeing a lot of deer, a lot of the small bucks in the early rut, running all over the place, running does off. Always just thinking the big one's gonna step out anytime. We seen one little buck kind of first thing in the morning, a couple of does, very first light. Everything kind of disappeared for a while. We were almost ready to call it a morning, honestly. It was getting pretty late, the sun was up. Some does hopped over the hill, standing right out there in the perfect morning, golden sunlight. I mean, just basically shining. Finally, at one point, I pulled up and out steps a buck. I seen him, I was like, oh, there's a buck, there's a buck. And Johnny, he goes, that's the Big 10, that's the Big 10.
The Best of the West is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation, Cryptek Camo, Hawkins Precision, Defiance Custom Actions, Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable, Huskamaw Optics, and LongRangeStore.com. For more information about the products and gear used in today's show, please visit LongRangeStore.com or call 1-866-754-7618.
We looked and we seen horns kind of coming out, and I said, hey, that's that 10, and it just coming right around that ridge on us here. And
I seen him, I was like, oh, there's a buck. And Johnny, he goes, that's the big 10. That's the big 10. I was sitting there looking through the rangefinder, and the whole time I was breathing on my scope. Pull it up, and I can't see anything. Johnny, he was about ready to take the gun from me, kind of deal. That one got me excited.
that should have got you excited. I've been watching that deer since it was in the velvet, and I think we got it down.
200 yards with our new Slug gun. We piled him up. Got my heart going on that one. It was kind of happening fast. I was having trouble getting on him, and to be honest, I fogged my scope up. I breathed right on it, looking for him, trying to range it, look back. I couldn't see through my scope. Last minute before it went behind that big slash pile of logs, it all kind of came together right there in the heat of the moment.
To have this deer come in and get it on film was just phenomenal. He had a 200-yard shot at that deer and just dropped it in his tracks. It's just like you pulled a rug out from under it. It was just an amazing, amazing thing to watch.
He's a beautiful, beautiful deer. Great buck to tag out on. Johnny and I have become good friends here. He's a big part of the TWRF, Tennessee Wildlife Resource Foundation. It worked out great, right at 200 yards, and it thumped him. Great accuracy. Of course, we're running the Huskamaw scope. I couldn't be happier with this deer. Awesome deer. Thanks, Johnny.
Anytime. When I started out hunting and muzzleloader, we were using an old Thompson Hawken, which was a great quality gun, but you know, 100 yards was just pushing the limits of it. You know, the Slug guns that we used, less than 100 yards. It's just extreme range. I mean, it's just game changing.
Was able to shoot a couple of bucks, 200-300 yards, and shot that doe at 685. It's also been pretty amazing to come out and spend time with such amazing people, Johnny and Dickie and the guys out here that have scouted things out for us. One of the best parts about this job is not necessarily filling tags, but the people you meet and the good friends you're able to make, and hopefully we can get them out west and shoot some muleys next time.
It's just a lifestyle for many of us, and it creates such camaraderie to have have them come in and stay with me and enjoy the place and get to shoot a few deer.
I want to thank the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Foundation. Great people. Everyone out here has been good to us. We always want to come to Tennessee. It's one of my favorite places to come, and I can't thank you guys enough.
Glad to welcome Best of the West to Tennessee to hunt a little whitetail, and it's always fun having these guys here. Today I'm glad to have Joe Cunningham hunting with me. He'll be packing my stuff in for me and helping me try to get stuff into the stand, and it's always a good time to have Joe here. And he didn't get to shoot anything this time, but next trip you're in there, buddy. Thanks for coming again.
Guess I don't need to be whispering.
Don't you have any, Jeff? I swear to God. Take two. I've done pretty well.